I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. California is burning.
My God, California always on fire.
The National Guard and the Marines were called in to stop the roughly 120 people who were mad that our government was deporting drug cartels and murderers.
We also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways. But the second we try to deport them, the radical Democrat Party is racing to the defense of some of the most violent savages on the face of the earth.
And MS-13. Hold on. The control room's... It wasn't MS-13. No cartels. It was 4-year-old girls and parents at elementary school graduations. Are you kidding? They cleaned out Home Depot? No. How the hell am I get my drywall fixed and get a fence built without a permit? God damn. Sorry. So it seems that all the criminal immigrants are now gone. All of them. There are no illegal immigrant gang members, so because all the murderers, gangs, and drug smugglers are gone, we are now deporting people who actually help.
They did everything right. They all had their work permits. A few of them have driver's licenses. They worked with me on the Navy base, which had to go through intense security.
Who are actually our neighbors.
You get to know these guys. You become their friends. Just not an employer, but a friend.
Who build our fences, who pick our food. But that's California, isn't it? This God-forsaken hellhole. That also happens to be the 4th largest economy in the world. Suck it, Germany! In fact, let's talk about that. How liberals and Democrats have the woke mind virus and are the radical left. How we live in a liberal hellhole and simultaneously are the 4th richest country on the planet Earth. How does that square with anything? Yeah, we're full of immigrants here. We actually have the most of any state. And they're killing our jobs and they're sucking on the government tit. Okay, and yet we're still the richest state in the country and produce food for 1/3 of America? And the downside is what? Exactly. You know, we also lead the rest of the nation in tech and have the most Fortune 500 companies. So us libtards are successful as hell. We actually send you welfare states $83 billion a year. You're welcome. Kentucky, West Virginia, Mississippi, South Carolina, Louisiana, Arizona, and Alabama. Because without us woke libtard douchebags, you wouldn't have roads. You'd be stuck on the porch, shoeless, working on your banjo skills. You know what? I love when the people in the states that take the most bitch about the state that gives the most. These states have the attitude of an ex-wife that never had a job. But hey, all you shoeless sister dating states, we believe in helping. Us atheist, heathen, drag queen, trans, gay, married, immigrant-loving, anti-racist, abortion-loving, woke libtards actually do what Jesus said to do, while you let women die from a miscarriage. Here are some more benefits of being a libtard in California. Our university system is a leading research institution globally. That means the planet. We are the elites, and we are proud of it. California leads the nation in the number of women-owned businesses. Yeah, you know why? Because all those women left all those abusive boyfriend states. I'm looking at you, Alabama. We also have one of the most diverse states in the country, California. Because it's so expensive to live here, we don't have any extra time to be racist to anyone. And we got fires to put out. We're busy. But there are no riots. Trump made that up. He called California
a disaster.
And we're the 4th largest economy in the world. How come this fucker never makes any sense at all? So, to all of you calling your relatives and asking, you guys okay out there? California looks like it's burning. Yeah, we're good. Except for the fact Sweet Potato Hitler is violating the Constitution and the rule of law. We're not just good. Hell, motherfuckers, we're California. And Mississippi, could you put on some shoes and deodorant? We're not animals. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God, I just love that. California's such a hellhole. Yeah, but you're taking our money, bitches. Yeah, how come you need $83 billion, huh? Yeah. And how come your murder rate is 4 times higher than ours? Fuck off. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hi, how you doing? Before I introduce her, I want to say that the inspiration for the Armageddon update happens like so many inspirations in my life. Someone comes out of the bathroom with their hair in a bun and putting their makeup on and goes, you know what else pisses me off? And then I go, can I use that? And so I did the Armageddon update today. The inspiration by this amazing woman, Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And who didn't help at all? Ken
No hair in my bun.
No, Ken actually did all the graphics and stuff. But I'm just saying that. I just say like so many. The Armageddon updates are hard to come up with sometimes. And I was thinking, what's the angle except for me every week bitching about Trump? And then Ray came out of the bathroom and she just goes, she said, what did you say exactly? You go, okay, fine. We're liberal. We're crazy. We're the radical left.
You play the news and I'm putting on my makeup. So I am solely focused on what they're saying because I'm not, I can't, there's nothing else visually stimulating me. My makeup is, I do that out of habit. And I just thought, okay, fine. Okay, we're overrun by immigrants. We're overrun. If you just listen to Trump the last couple of days, we are a state filled with radical left.
Murderers.
Democrats, murderers, same thing. Our governor is a loser. The state has gone to shit. Everyone's leaving. Okay.
Except we had a net gain.
Okay.
And we're
the fourth largest economy in the world.
On the planet Earth!
And everything costs $1 million to live here.
Of Germany, ahead of countries. And all of our money
major countries
goes to the government and funds all of those states where they're not overrun by immigrants and they're not overrun by radical left.
But their murder rate is 4 times higher than ours.
But they're so fucking broke that they need us to pay them so that their government can continue to function.
They love to call Trump daddy. Motherfucker, we're your daddy, bitch.
and you don't like that. Like most kids, you don't really like your dad.
That's what I don't understand. If you look at California as a test case, and you said in response to me, you go, yeah, they should stop denying it. That we are filled with immigrants
and liberals,
many undocumented.
Yes,
we are.
You're welcome on eating vegetables. Did you have vegetables in the last 2 weeks? You're welcome. You know, our immigrant population picks the food that feeds a third of this country. And what really, and when you look at California, it's not just one thing. Like, I don't even know what's Kentucky export. Horses? What exactly does Kentucky do?
Bourbon.
Braces? I don't know.
Horses.
Mississippi? What do they do? What?
Some farm country.
Dumpster
in
babies?
Mississippi in the Delta.
Dumpster babies. Okay.
No.
But
I mean, and that's the thing, too. We have radical policies. We support women's choice.
Climate change, environmental issues.
Okay, so we're not sweeping our forests. And we're dumping all of our water into the Pacific Ocean.
Just run it right in.
And we're still...
we're the fourth largest economy in the world.
And also, to point something out, when it comes to drought, don't fuck with us. We are so good at drought because we have it in and out. The reason some of that, first of all, we didn't dump the water. If you remember correctly, Trump opened up the thing.
Diverted the fucking water.
Diverted all the water.
I mean, his first term, that's all he tweeted about was that we were pouring all our water into the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, so during his first term, do you remember the snow years we had?
Yes.
We had snow years like record, like I think we did 680 inches.
Yeah.
We had to, or we flood towns. So when it comes down to this guy, how full of shit this guy is, but Ray's right. Why not own it? Why not just go? You're right. We are libtard radicals.
Well,
we are rich as fuck, and we actually create all the tech, and we create all the new fucking culture, and we also have the most beautiful place. I can drive from here today in the winter. Go snowboarding that night, leave, drive down a couple hours.
Sandboarding.
And he goes sandboarding and then go surfing as the sun goes down.
And then go into a temperate climate of Napa Valley.
Yes.
With wine country.
And get world-class wine.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, guys, we're all of it. We're everything that you said.
Yeah.
And here's the problem with one of the problems with what they're doing to undocumented people is that those people are the people that are working on these farms, so Central Valley of California, a lot of people don't realize this, but when we drive to the cabin, there are what, 3.5 hours straight,
Of
4
just-
hours
of just farmland.
farmland
Yep.
and conservative people. And so you now have workers scared to show up.
Yeah.
Trump has already said they're going to be ramping up ICE raids in California. So you have nobody to do those jobs.
Right.
And I can promise you that it's not going to slow down food for everybody. What's going to happen first is we're going to keep it
Yeah.
for California.
Yeah, California will
So we'll be
fed.
okay. It's going to stop being exported. And it's just the dumbest thing. They lack any future sight whatsoever.
But let's go to the beginning of the lie too. Remember what he said? There's so many murderers and
Which
killers,
lie?
and they are arsonists and the MS-13 and blah blah blah. And remember when they first started doing it, they said we're going to arrest hundreds of thousands a week, and they got like 1,800 people, and they couldn't figure out where the criminals were. And so now what they're doing is people. You got to understand this. These people that come here, they're not coming here to take anything from you. They're coming here because in their country, they were making 2 cents a day. They were going to get killed by a cartel. The gangs were extorting the money, and they had kids. Now, imagine if someone was like threatening to kill your kids unless you paid them money. You'd get the fuck out. And that's what they did. So then they come here and do the shittiest jobs, the worst jobs. And they want to be American citizens. In some ways, I just went through a whole thing on Instagram, a whole thing about percentages. And did you know that 97% of immigrants that come here graduate high school? Did you know 87% of American-born kids graduate?
Well, they're even going into the offices of immigration.
Yes.
While they're imagine you're at the DMV
Doing the right thing.
You're renewing your car registration, and a bunch of fucking Delta team comes in to arrest you because you don't have your registration up to date. You're like, hey, fuckface, I'm in line to do it. They are doing that to these immigrants.
So it's because they don't know how to find MS-13.
Or they found them all.
I promise you, they are not on these farms
Wait, you're
picking
telling me?
fruit.
Wait, are you telling me that major gang members, MS-13, aren't hanging out in the Home Depot parking lot trying to get a job building an unpermitted fence?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that. I am.
All of them are across the street. I mean, don't they know that? We've been saying it.
Telling you that they're not walking through their neighborhood in Boston holding their baby.
Right.
I'm telling you that they're not a 16-year-old band member and volleyball player from high school,
Or maybe a 4-year-old
or
girl.
a 4-year-old girl
With cancer.
who's getting cancer treatment. I mean, it's sick, man.
But we are at a place now where he's in. So the problem is, like, everybody's putting up videos now downtown LA. Just so you know, people, there's nothing going on downtown LA. In fact, people stood there and got arrested. Protesters that were there, which was, by the way, here's how many protesters were there. If I had got that many people on a Friday second show, I would quit comedy. That's how how few people were there. So they just stood there peacefully. They got handcuffed and they got taken away. He's going to send in more Marines. Just so you guys know what I think he's trying to do. He's trying to get it to explode.
Yeah,
he's
of course.
trying to
he
get.
wants
Didn't you
this.
tell me Texas is actually sending?
Abbott has already deployed in advance National Guard troops.
Oh, they love
because
this shit.
there were some protests in Austin. Nothing bad yet, but in advance of the protest this Saturday, that's counter protesting Trump's sad little birthday party for himself. Like, how pathetic
Let's
are
talk
you
about this.
that you have to invite a whole bunch of strangers and pay other people to perform and throw your own birthday party? You pathetic hump.
So
You know
let's
who
talk-
won't be there?
Yeah,
Your wife.
Your wife ever? She's never. We haven't seen her. Did Melania die? We haven't
This
seen.
happens every time. She ducks
But
out.
this time's worse. Like, I keep watching him walk down Air Force One with. She's never with him anymore.
She's there for like the inauguration, and that's it. And then she fucking ducks out. She's just a paid.
I was surprised she showed up. I mean, yeah, she's a paid participant as well.
Yeah,
in general.
she's rented.
Can I ask, do you guys understand what this guy, okay, so this guy wants a military parade, right? So this is a guy who deferred 5 times. Tried to be drafted 5 times and deferred the draft. He said he had a doctor's report said he had bone spurs, which means if he has bone spurs, he couldn't march in the parade that he's actually throwing for himself. Now, we sent in Doge to kill all the fraud and waste, which they didn't find. At 110,000 Social Security accounts they looked at intensely that could have been shaky, they found 2 that weren't legit. 2. Again, I said it last week, statistically 0. So they want to save money. Doge said they were going to save $2 trillion. They ended up saving, they said 160, although none of the accounting says that. However, the Congressional Budget Office said they cost $135 billion. This parade is going to cost $132 million, something like that. They're going to rip the streets up of Washington, D.C., with all these tanks. They have, and I watched the way, I was stunned today with LA. There was a picture of all the troops all the Marines they had here, staying in like this shitty abandoned office building. And I thought, how do you fuck over the troops even worse than you already have?
Yeah.
How do you call them suckers and losers? How do you say, I don't want anybody with an injury near any of my parades? And then you stuff them in some shithole. And I had some Marines, I got threaded something about it. I had some Marines go, dude, honestly, that was, compared to where we stayed in the past, that's awesome. I was like, yeah, but
you're missing the point.
You were in Somalia.
Exactly. You're in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're in LA. The beach is there.
You can stay at all the Airbnbs you want.
There's hotels like they didn't seem to. Again, tent on the beach. You could be fine. And I don't understand why we keep accepting it. And but here's the thing. He wants us to blow up. He wants it to go bad.
This is such
and the thing that they know as well is when you bring in troops like that, so it's a militarized occupation.
Right.
Now we've got, the Marines from 29 Palms, is that heightens tension.
Yep.
And so Abbott deploying those troops, it's all by design. Every
theater.
bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not theater. He's going to impose martial law and shut us down. And then what?
Oh, I'm not saying it's theater because it's fake. I'm saying he's doing it on purpose to project power.
But what a small dict, like that's not leadership. It's never been leadership. Leaders are someone you want to follow. If he was a good leader, we wouldn't be preparing for protests countrywide.
Yeah.
There's supposedly like 500 protests countrywide.
Gavin has thrown the F down.
Yep.
He addressed us last night, but also prior to that, he said, tell Tom Homan, you're a tough guy. Come get me. Yeah. Come arrest me. You know where I am, but keep your hands off 4-year-old girls
with cancer.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, Gavin.
And Tom Homan didn't respond to the 4-year-old girl thing. He just said,
that's not what I meant.
Newsom didn't do anything to warrant arrest.
He goes, that's not what I said. He goes, that's not what I meant. Like, you pussy. But someone also pointed out that that's what bullies need to be stepped up to. What I worry about, though, with the Marine thing is that what do we do if we do stand up, we do start, fuck you, get out of our city, then they shut us down. I mean, I saw a cop, there's video of a cop yesterday, downtown LA. Someone goes, hey, man, buddy, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He goes, you're hindering me. And he turns around and he goes, pop, with a beanbag. Shot the guy right in front of him.
Yep.
Well, that's how the riots started, is that ICE came in. Apparently, they just came in and stopped traffic. And they blocked traffic. They started raiding, going into something. And everybody in their cars gets out and was like, what the hell's going on? And they start taking their cameras out. As soon as the people they take their cameras out, ICE turns around, firebombs them, smoke.
Oh yeah, I heard this. They just started flashbang.
Like immediately.
They just started throwing at a traffic thing.
Well, you can see that female reporter that was shot with a rubber bullet while reporting.
Yep.
They highlighted the cop that was very clearly aiming in her direction when all the people, the 87 people, were over here.
Yeah, he turned right at her.
Which stinks.
What an asshole.
Speaking of things that stink, this episode is brought to you by Mando.
Oh.
Mando.
I got a new one. I got a new one with which scent did I get? It's
It's got an
red
orange
orange.
cap, I
Yeah, it's
think.
got an orange cap. Oh, well, no, it's got it's self inside. Yeah, it's all orange, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
don't use Mando. I use Lumi,
Lumi,
which
same,
is the
same,
female
same,
version
same.
of Mando. Now
on
is
right
the time, especially if you're planning on going out and protesting. It's hot out there, and you don't need to offend your fellow protesters.
Listen, we want protesters that go out there and are so just aromatic in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, you should protest and it should smell like a field of poppies or something.
Those smoke grenades are
They've
smelly.
just launched something that takes that sweat control to the next level. This one's called Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick. It's double protection. So you get odor control that we love with Mando, but also powerful sweat control.
How are they doing that?
Well, it's magic is what it is. And science, because the lady that started this is a doctor. I always like that when you hear that about products, that especially things that are for our bodies, that
we have a couple.
It's being tested in a lab, or that a doctor created it because people were being misdiagnosed for their body odor and stuff. So it's actually clinical strength. It's 2 times better at controlling sweat than the regular deodorant. It controls both sweat and odor for 72 hours, and after just 12 hours, underarm sweat reduced by 92%. So this stuff actually works.
It actually works, and I have switched my deodorant to Mando.
Also, they use premium ingredients, which I love. Other deodorants are usually loaded with chemicals. Mando uses premium ingredients like mandelic acid, things like that. Mando's starter pack is a perfect option for new people if you haven't tried this yet. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. You can choose like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers will get 20% off site-wide with promo code Titus at checkout. That's shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping.
Promo code Titus.
shopmando.com. And then support us by telling them at the end that we're the ones that told you about it. Shopmando.com. Promo code Titus.
We had something happen a couple weeks ago. I think I talked about it last week. We went and saw Ricky Gervais. And then I thought we got ripped off by the Hollywood Bowl. I thought that we had someone take my card, and we got a charge that was crazy.
Yeah, fraud or something on you.
Yeah, we had 4 charges, and I was like, holy shit. And one of them was like crazy. Like someone had the balls to go, I'm quitting the job. Like it was that big. So I write a letter, as I often do when I feel like I'm being ripped off. I write a letter to...
A strongly worded letter?
Ray would say that. And then I called the company that handled the transaction to figure out who did it, what time was it, blah, blah, blah. I knew exactly where it was. I knew what it was. This goes on for, 3 or 4 days. Ray writes a letter saying that he's crazy. Let me just say what happened. Guy comes back and goes, and now I want to tell you something. So we paid, Ray got me Ricky Gervais tickets for Christmas, and we had a box, and she, to her credit, she bought the charity ones that get donated. Ricky Gervais, just so you know, donated $1.9 million to animal charities.
All from your bank account?
From one show.
No. Yeah, fuck that. Ricky Gervais.
That's the line item on
I'd be on the news worldwide if that was the case. So he's really a good dude when it comes to animals and stuff. And so the charge was, so we had $180 for food, which I thought that was expensive, but you were going to a concert. You have to look. Don't we all expect it to be expensive?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in an airport and you're pissed off at that you paid for $11 for a sandwich, you don't know you're in an airport.
$11.
Yeah, or $16, whatever it is. So what airport is this? So we get this charge. So we had $180, and then we bought 2 bags of chips. I bought 2 bags of popcorn.
$40.
No, yeah, they were $36. And then Ray got a little thing of salami and stuff, and that was $36 too.
Jesus
and so we had 2 charges on that. Then we had, and the tickets were expensive. The tickets were really expensive. Yeah. So we've already paid the tickets. Parking was, we took an Uber, we took a car service. That was expensive. And then I paid, it was so 2 bags of popcorn was $36. That's $18 for a bag of popcorn.
Hold on. They don't need to upcharge this much. You're on the fucking ground. It's not like when you go on a plane.
They didn't fly it into Coachella.
Yeah, it's right. It's not like you're in some fucking remote area they need to deliver it.
It's not the Fire Festival where they kind of took over an island.
There's a shopping mall down the street.
So here's what happened. So the guy comes back after a couple of days and he goes, well, Mr. Titus, we looked at this $600 charge on top of the already $250 charge we had for food. And he goes, this is what you bought. And we looked at it, and it was like, there was a bottle of wine that was $200. It was like, and I was like,
the food order that we thought was the 180 charge, that charge was the 614 or 641.
Oh,
that was the little snack tray things that we got and wine.
So I wrote him back and I said, you know what? I have toured this country. I have played theaters. I have done clubs. If any venue, if I found out they were fucking my people over like this,
yes,
I'd stop working for that venue.
It's a reflection on you as the artist, because they're just going to...
That's what I think. Ricky Gervais is a dick. Like, honestly, like, how much of the popcorn money's going to Ricky? Jesus Christ. And so to his credit...
You wouldn't pay this much if they brought Prince back, if they fucking found a mosquito in Minneapolis and cloned him.
If they clone the Temptations, the original 4 Temptations,
just all the one lead singer,
even then, I'd be like, you know what? It's the Temptations back from the dead. I would pay that for the Vampire Temptations.
If T-Rex, the band, came back as actual T-Rexes.
Is that a band?
Bang a gong.
It's a band.
How does that go?
Bang a gong, get it on. She's dirty, sweet, clad in black, don't look back, and I love her.
Oh, I know that song.
Dirty, sweet, and you're my girl.
Oh.
Everything has to be done as Ethel Merman now. I don't even understand. So here's the thing. Here's the problem. We've all lost our fucking minds when it comes to seeing somebody live. It's the Hollywood Bowl. Like you said, there's a fucking Walgreens down the street.
Yeah.
But to charge for us 4 to have a $980 total charge on top of
just to snack and have a couple drinks.
Yeah, we weren't served.
Yeah, exactly. Like with all the silver. Well, it wasn't like steak and lobster that you got, right? It was a salami.
And actually, we didn't get those little snack trays we ordered.
Right,
they forgot us.
They forgot,
and then
I go,
wait. And then the waiter, right before the show starts, I'm like, we didn't get our, and he looked panicked. He comes back with basically sweep the kitchen. Here's what they had left. And we were like,
and then charged a fucking
yes. Yes. So so to his credit, I complained about it, and then once I found it was mine, I said, okay, if that's what it costs, okay. Guys, just so you know, I do okay. When I see a crazy charge on my, because my ex stole a bunch of money from me. Yeah. So I look at my bank account all the time. Yeah. And I was like, holy fuck. I go, they're ripping me. It was so expensive that I knew that the Russian card mob had come in and taken my card. Turns out, no, it was just the kiosk at the Hollywood Bowl.
It was just you.
But you know what I would have to do to spend $600? Sorry, it's $900 total.
We could have gone to Nobu.
We could have gone to Nobu with the 4 of us and had a good time. So do me a favor, people. Listen, go see your favorite artists, but find out how bad you're getting fucked over.
Well, I think most people, and I will say this as an aside, check how much things are before they order them. And then look at the thing with the total before they sign it.
He didn't even offer it.
So I'm saying there is some evidence of your privilege.
Your negligence
or
something.
True. But, here's the thing. But I've accepted $400.
Right, but...
I've accepted that. I've accepted the 4 of us, it's $100 a piece for some snacks. I've accepted that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying...
You have a rough estimate.
I'm not saying that it's out of control. I'm saying the number that came up was... And you're right. I buy shit all the time, right? I spend money. Mm-hmm. So when I'm pissed, it's expensive.
Yes. But you go into it knowing, like you say, you have an estimate in your mind. Like, okay, this is gonna be expensive, but it's not gonna be fucking an additional $600 expensive.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
so let's get back to the news. So Trump gave a speech at Fort Bragg yesterday. God. In the middle of all of this going on, his military parade coming, military being deployed to a city for...
numerous cities.
What would you call that? A gaggle?
A gaggle.
A gaggle of people?
A murder of...
It wasn't even...
I have family members that are like, be honest. You see the smoke, don't you? And I'm like, LA is not on fire.
We didn't even know it was happening.
I got on my
motorcycle. It was a 1 block.
On the day...
1 block downtown.
I got on my motorcycle and drove around. Fucking nothing.
There's
Just
nothing.
birds.
It's
There's
so
that- yeah,
stupid.
And we're not in like this isn't Beverly. This isn't the Hollywood Bowl. We're in fucking the Valley.
It was absolutely nothing.
Even if you went to the Hollywood Bowl, it's really dumb. So anyway, he spoke at Fort Bragg, and the thing that he's doing is he is rather quickly changing something that has been very much the norm in this country, is separation of our military from partisan politics. And he got on stage and, of course, encouraged the troops, egged them on to boo the Democrats, to boo the mayor of LA, which I'll boo her too, but and the governor of California. And
Who I will not boo.
like, do you see the optics of that? How crazy that is? That
Not a leader. Listen, that military represents all of us.
Yeah,
That military represents all of it. And I've gone to Iraq twice for our troops. I went to Europe for our troops. I have family members who fought in Raqqa with a Navy SEAL team, and he was an EOD. I have, we have another family member that's a Marine. And I have to be honest with you, when he does that, first of all, I guess it's easy to lead the military too, but I will say this. He not only is doing that, he's actually renaming all the bases that we took all the Confederate. I just find it all the confusion.
also Hegseth fired women and people of color
wants to name a Harvey Milk. Wants to change the name of Harvey Milk's ship. It's
because
he was gay, but he served in the Navy. And was assassinated.
Our military, by design, is supposed to be apolitical.
Yes.
Not that they aren't supposed to take sides, and especially not fucking land on our soil against us.
So officers obviously now are being promoted on the basis of their loyalty to the president, not due to the merit or their dedication to our country and our Constitution. This is putting politics very firmly into our military. But also, most importantly, having an impartial military is probably one of the most key ingredients necessary for us to have a stable democracy.
And to be and for the people to be safe.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's the military. That they took an oath to the Constitution, not to this dipshit.
But he's signaling to them.
Yes,
just like he's done with our law enforcement. What was it? Kick the shit out of them, or
I'm sorry,
knock the crap out of him.
He pardoned the traitors, the treasonous fucks that invaded the Capitol on January 6th.
An actual insurrection.
He actually pardoned all of them. So everybody, it's not just the military that's backed up. It's just not the cops that are getting told you can do it. Any dipshit with a long gun is like, well, he's gonna pardon me. I'm gonna go shoot some. I'm gonna shoot some liberals.
As long as you're on his side.
We told you guys this was going to happen. We told you for years. We couldn't believe when he was polling at all. I want to point out, someone showed a picture. He fell on the steps. I remember when he thrashed Biden. Biden. I remember and he posted a video of Springsteen of hitting a golf ball and hitting Springsteen when Springsteen fell last year.
Yep.
Well, he just tripped down the stairs.
Same stairs.
Getting
on the Air Force
Almost
One.
the same area.
Almost the same area where Biden tripped and caught himself. And it's fine.
It's fine. So there's a close-up picture Greg Proops posted of his ear. And the ear that got shot by a guy with .226 ammunition. And there's not a fucking mark on it.
Oh.
Now, I watched a ballistic gel test on the they had a skull with it, they do that ballistic gel stuff. It's like it represents human.
Yeah, like on Mythbusters.
And they shot past it. They shot past the ear, shot past it, didn't hit the ear, shot past it, and it shredded it. It was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone.
He refused to release his medical records after that. And we all know that if he really had serious trauma done, he would have released those medical records.
We would have seen it.
What a badass. Well, you did see him with the giant Kleenex box on his ear before.
Why did he put a tampon on his head?
Because he's all for
show.
Those are different.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But it's just because he's a moron, and he never looks cool either because he's. This episode brought to you by True Classic.
Hey, look at this.
He could greatly benefit from some True Classic clothing. We wear them all the time. He has them. I
haven't
steal
read
them,
that.
but I also bought a bunch of them in smalls because they're the softest, most comfortable, most lasting shirts.
And they fit right.
Love. More fitted on the guns.
Mhm.
Shows the fit. Yeah.
Look at that.
And then
Hey, what's going on
looser
here? How you doing?
on the gut area.
Looser, not loser.
Let's do the, what is it from Predator? We'll do that. And then I'll cut in.
Yeah.
Also, it's extremely affordable to get something of this quality.
Yeah.
But wash it, it doesn't fade. I dry yours.
By the
They
way,
don't
that's
fade.
what I
They
noticed.
don't lose their
What I
shape.
noticed was this one today. I got it out of the drawer because I thought they were coming in. And now I have a bunch of them, but I just grabbed it. And I was like, that color has stayed exactly
Yeah.
right. It has
Yeah.
not changed, which is pretty awesome.
The fit is so great. I have ones that are two sizes too big, and they still fit nice.
Oh, yeah.
Like I could still put them on and be like, oh,
Well,
yeah,
but you're ripped. You're a monster.
Oh, yeah, that's
You
right.
are the predator, basically. Yeah.
But if you're not, True Classic will help you look like you are.
That's right.
Forget overpriced designer brands. Don't do fast fashion. That stuff falls apart after you wash it once. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. You can grab them now at Target, at Costco, or go to trueclassic.com/Titus so you can get hooked up today. trueclassic.com/Titus.
/Titus. Can you bring up that lawsuit in Rockville? It's Rockland County, New York.
Oh
So-
yeah, I wanted to just throw this out there really quickly because Dr. Israel Swan, our veterinarian that sounds like a Bond villain.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Dr. Israel Swan, Mr. Bond.
He's a badass though.
Yeah.
He said today that he had heard that there were Craigslist postings for rioters for LA. And, I'm always saying to you, who's they?
Yeah, who's the
Because
they?
you do it now. Because he'll be on Instagram for a while. Videos, people sounding very knowledgeable in front of the camera.
Mhm.
So then you start going, well, they're saying, well, who? People, pay attention.
There's a
And then
guy
do your
wearing a
research.
throwback jersey and booty socks. That
So
who?
I looked it up, and Yahoo and Snopes fact checked it. But I bring it up because I find this interesting. So on June 9th, the day before all of this started,
Right.
there were actual Craigslist ad postings calling for extremely tough, brave men. That was the headline, paying $6,500 to $12,500 per week. People on X were posting screenshots of this, that Trump and his people were intentionally inciting this. So it was fact checked. And a couple of podcasters admitted that they placed the ads as a prank. The ads were real. Everybody saw them
Right.
the day before that riot started, but they're saying they were just trying to get people to answer the ad and they thought it would be funny. But they
Hilarious.
also now admitted that they posted an almost identical ad in Austin.
This all feeds into that narrative. And Trump always.
So what's the plan on this? What's the plan though?
It's to make it.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, but here's
but I'm not saying.
so when you say Craigslist,
I find it oddly coincidental. So I do understand that these podcasters have said that they did it. I get that. But it's really coincidental that those two cities where the military are
They're showing
being
up, yeah.
deployed, this is where they did those. The one in Austin says looking for the toughest badasses in the city. So, and it's a long, very detailed ad with a lot of money.
Who's the podcast?
I was
Like
gonna
JD
by-
Vance?
By the way, I was just going to say I will cancel some gigs for 12.5. I
didn't see that
I got to
ad.
hold a sign. I got to hold a sign and wrestle.
Yeah.
It got flagged for removal finally by Craigslist.
But Craigslist, anybody can go. You can just get an account on Craigslist. You can put any ad up on Craigslist. So you could actually use Craigslist as a propaganda tool.
Exactly.
To
That's
get it
GoofCon
done.
1. GoofCon 1 is the name of it, of the
They should
podcast.
be arrested. They should be arrested.
They said that during their Friday episode, the same day LA protests began, the host conducted live prank calls with people who had actually responded to the ads. They say they had no idea it was going to be connected to the riots.
Wow, you should go to Vegas now, because if you just randomly picked Vegas, Los Angeles and Austin, you have some insight.
When I yelled fire in the movie theater, I didn't think that.
You're like Nostradamus. So the two cities you place the ads in are the two cities they sent troops into?
Dude.
Is this a right-wing podcast?
It's just a prank podcast. I just thought that was very weird.
Here's what's really fucked up. Between AI, between all the Russian propaganda, between the trolls, between the people lying, we are in a no truth era. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't believe anything, even if you see it with your own eyes. AI, I'm watching some of the AI videos and I'm like, they're getting really scary good. It's going to get worse. Yeah. And now they're saying that in this new bill that they want to let AI run for 10 years with no legislation. Yeah. So what will happen by then? Movies are over. Writers will always live, because if you can just write a script and AI will recreate that movie.
Yeah. But AI can write the script now too. It's it's like, holy shit.
Isn't it weird? The Terminator wasn't someone that was trying to kill us. It was just someone that basically took our jobs away. What would you die of? Starvation. Why? Yeah, well, we got rid of the immigrants, so there's no food picked, and then none of us could afford food because AI took our jobs. But and AI doesn't need us to pay it.
So Gavin came out yesterday, and Gavin gives zero shits. And Gavin talks the way, but he always has.
But you know what, though?
That no one will.
But do you remember the Charlie Kirk thing, the thing he was doing? He was trying to reach across the aisle. He should not do that anymore, because when you reach across these guys' aisles, they cut your arm off. Mm-hmm. Then they cut your funding for your disability and your health care. So now you bleed out.
I argue he wasn't reaching across the aisle. I thought what he does is he definitely steps into the lion's den. Yeah. Because he does hammer these people with facts. When they say anything that's not true, he was going on Fox like Buttigieg does, who's very good at it as well.
Buttigieg's great at it.
But Gavin's more direct. Like, no, that's bullshit. Yeah. He said, what we're witnessing is not law enforcement, it's authoritarianism. Yep. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence, to be complicit in this moment. Do not give it to him. What he did say, at the beginning was he's doing what all authoritarian regimes do. They attack the people least able to defend themselves.
Yep.
Then he said Trump is pulling a military dragnet across Los Angeles. It's weakness masquerading as strength.
That's the low selling fruit, is what that is.
Yeah, low hanging fruit.
Yeah, but that's
low selling.
They're not hanging there; they're selling. They're on a cart. That's the low picking fruit. That's what they.
I'm confused.
I don't get it.
I didn't mean to be confused, but I get it yet.
The phrase.
So here's
the easy targets.
So yes,
but they pick and sell the fruit. Is what
I feel like
guy was making the thing.
We get it.
Thread.
Boop beep boop. I can't connect them.
There's a Venn diagram.
There's
a Venn diagram.
Your joke is good when you have to explain it. You always know you nailed it.
And especially when the two people are going. Now we're back to between the two beards.
Between the two beards.
That was a parody of a parody.
Yeah.
A parody of a parody where you explained it to us and we were like, what?
He's one of the funniest things, of the podcast is him fucking dropping jokes on
the puns.
So
his puns.
Some of his puns. Him and Chip Foose are the pun fucking masters. So by getting rid of, here's what I don't get. We were told, do any of you Republicans who voted for this guy, do you guys actually look at it now and think you fucked up?
Some do.
I mean, because he's getting rid of the prices are now up. They posted a bunch of prices since the tariffs hit, and because they're hitting the stores now because the tariffs were all over the place. So some people paid 145% for their tariffs, and then they passed it on the consumers. So something that was $60 is now $95. Something that was $116 I saw was $176. So prices are up. He's trying to distract from. Elon Musk came out and said he's a pedophile. He's on Epstein's list.
He's now gone on X and said, I regret some of my posts about Donald Trump. It was wrong.
The richest man said this?
He said this because his stock is going back up.
Yeah.
And somebody said something to somebody, and now they both.
Well, Putin's people fall out windows. If you talk bad about it, and I think I'm watching Donald Trump get angrier and angrier and ballsier and more confident. Bullies, unless you stop bullies keep going. So what I don't know is because what he really did in LA was, because he knows California is going to be a flashpoint for fighting against him. So what he really did was he created something that didn't exist, sent troops in, and now what do we do?
It's a silver lining.
Like, we can't even take it over now.
Yeah. So other countries countries even
You
now,
have a silver lining in this?
there's a silver lining.
We're losing America, and you have
Yeah, but there's
give
a
me the
chance.
upside.
We have a chance.
Okay,
we
what's the
still
chance?
have a chance.
And now Ken Highland on the chance to save America.
We have a chance. Other countries that had and have North Korea. Think of the geography. It's a small single country, right? Germany, small single run country,
right?
Aside from Russia, but that's a single solitary thing.
Yeah, Moscow's really like, isn't Moscow like the center of that?
Yeah, like one center, one thing. Whereas our country is made up of all these multiple, diverse,
almost
states,
like tiny countries,
little tiny countries. So it's going to be a lot more complicated and a lot more difficult for him to become a full-fledged dictator, 100%, like a Kim Jong-un or a Hitler.
So right now you think it's a little bit cosplay, but unless we stop it, it's going to continue. I see what you're saying.
Well, Newsom said, let's go back to Gavin. Oh, Gavin Ruski. He said he has now, in just over 140 days, fired government watchdogs that would have held him accountable for corruption and fraud, declared a war on culture, history, on science, on knowledge itself.
Yep.
Databases quite literally vanishing. He's delegitimizing news organizations and assaulting the First Amendment. At the threat of defunding them, he's dictating what universities can teach, targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundation of an orderly civil society, calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason other than, to use his words, for getting elected. And we all know this Saturday he's ordering our American heroes, the U.S. military, forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past.
His speech was awesome.
Yeah, finally a Democrat is doing what we've been begging for Democrats to step up and do.
What I don't get is why they don't. Like Gavin, I thought this yesterday. I thought Gavin Newsom finally stepped up and met the moment. And we hear that phrase a lot. And we need every day. That's what I keep saying. How long have I been saying? Every day they need a press conference to call this asshole
and
out.
not talking like this.
Yeah.
Like oh, God.
Strongly worded. Or how about
soft.
this? So we don't like what he's doing.
Exactly.
We do not like what he's doing. So what I did, I sent to the White House today, right now. I sent a very strongly worded letter. It was it was harsh. I used words that maybe my mother wouldn't like. But
risque.
How lame.
Like, is that our guy?
When they came out and they were like, I have an announcement. I finally agree with Elon Musk. Dude. This is your big fucking announcement. We got tyranny happening,
but they're still living in a different world. They're still living when Romney and those guys running. They're not living. I still don't think they can wrap their minds around what's happening. And I understand why this has never happened in America. And here's where I was going to back up your thing about the only other positive thing. Do you need to do something? Go ahead.
This episode brought to you by Ridge Wallet.
Yes,
Ridge Wallet.
Yes. Oh,
where is it?
I got mine.
Hold on. I'll show you where it is.
Hey.
Right here. Okay. This is my wallet now.
There's 75 cards in there.
Go get it.
We'll talk about it.
I open them.
You know what I like about them is that not only can you get like 1,000 different colors, but like they're so sturdy and so easy. Like when you just flip this stuff out.
That's because they're made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber. I love the colors.
Yep.
The patterns. Carbon fiber is pretty sick. I love the black cherry like that my niece has. We got you got the purple one. He got these are so sleek and cool. And they all have the RFID blocking technology. So
someone can't come by and pick your stuff up. But you know what else?
So someone can't come by and steal your data, your card
numbers.
Right,
run by you, get your card, get all your cards.
Yeah.
You know what else? So I used to have, before I started using Ridge, I had a big wallet. You know, this is years ago because I before they became advertisers, I had them.
Yes.
Okay. So what Did you bring your old wallet? Oh,
Oh, you got the
So
key
I'll show the
thing,
picture.
too.
so
That's
so
weird.
so what I would do was, hey puppy, you want to see it? So I would sit in my car, and if my wallet was my back thing, I'm getting scoliosis. Like literally,
Oh, yeah.
my butt. Like I get this wallet that's just totally messing me up. And then I got the Ridge, and it was so small, and it fit, and yet all my stuff got in it, and it made a difference in my health. Is that weird? You know, I didn't
Well,
have to go
it
to.
can cause you back problems if
Right.
if you're sitting unevenly because you keep a big wallet. He used to have a massive wallet
Yeah,
that
your
was
wallet.
completely disintegrating.
Everything looked like a Hitchcock
the
movie,
wallet.
like
Let's
a Dutch
see it.
angled.
So the wallet can hold
Look at
up to
this.
Yeah, your
12
wallet was-
cards plus cash.
You kept
He
evidence in
never
your
has
wallet
cash
of crimes.
in the area where there should be, but so this part is where Titus always keeps cash. I can't do that with my nails,
Yeah.
but right there, and then you need cards, you just pop them out like that. That is pretty sleek, man. And you got the key thing too,
Yeah.
right? It matches.
I'll show you
Look
mine.
at Ken, he got matching. That is so
Isn't that
cute.
cute? This is my tactical protester brand.
This is really cool.
By the way, if he gets hit with a beanbag bullet in the wallet, he's fine.
Yeah.
So right now, just in time for Father's Day, it's a killer Father's Day gift. Ridge is having a huge sale. You can get up to 40% off your order at ridge.com/Titus. That's RIDGE.com/Titus to get the perfect gift for dad or for yourself. When you check out, same deal. They're going to say, where'd you hear about us? Make sure you support us and tell them that we sent you. Give dad the upgrade he deserves this year. Or give yourself the upgrade.
So here's what I wanted to say about what you were talking about. What is our other choice? Well, these other countries, North Korea, they've been under dictatorship for a long time. Russia's has hundreds of years of history of being under a communist rule, dictator, strongmen. We don't have that. This is the first time it's happened.
Yeah.
And we were taught from the time we were children that freedom, America, we are the best country because we have freedom, and you can stand up to a tyrannical government. So I was talking to somebody else. I did Marshall Warfield's podcast last night. We were
At
talking
midnight.
and we were talking about it. And I said, you ever get in a fist fight? Ray, have you ever been in a fist fight?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay. Have you been in a fist fight?
Yes.
You know that moment before the first punch is thrown?
Yes.
Like, it's going down. People are doing that crazy thing and
Yes.
okay, it's going to go. There's that moment. And then there's a moment when the fist hits your face, and then you realize it's on, and that thing kicks in where you got to save your own life, right? We are at the point where we are now like this. And that's where we're standing as America right now. We're waiting for it. There's a level of heinous, because right now we're still, all of us people that are, native born, we're like, oh, it sucks, man. The immigrants. Now, when food is 5 times as expensive and it's rotting in the fields in California, I think people will get pissed. He hasn't crossed the line. I mean, he's done a lot of heinous shit, but there's a massacre coming, and there's something that's going to come that's going to be that first punch in the face. And that's what I worry about with our country. What happens on the B side of that? And how far is he willing to go to push our troops to kill us?
Everywhere.
And
He will do anything.
but how far are our troops willing to go to kill us?
Well,
that's my biggest
that's kinda
worry.
scary.
Right.
Because I will say the Marines are not just like, it's definitely changed since when I grew up. And some of the people that we met that are young Marines somehow, that's some of the people that are being asked to do these things. And one person in particular that you and I could think of would do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are MAGA supporters. So I don't know. I mean, I certainly believe that there will be some that won't, that will stand up to it. But, I'm watching people that I know in these ICE raids,
Yeah.
and feeling very justified in it. And I don't know. I don't want to say things.
Ronald Reagan, if we ever stopped letting in new Americans, our leadership in the world would soon be over. Ronald Reagan said that. So I want you guys to remember that we live in a country planned for, designed by, and built by immigrants. Your family, go back as far as you want. Somebody fucking came from somewhere else. Trump's mom is first generation. Trump's grandfather is such a shitty immigrant. He came here, made a bunch of money. You know why he left Germany? You know why Trump's fucking grandpa left Germany? Because Trump's grandpa didn't want to go in the army. So I guess that's fucking genetic. I guess chicken shit is also genetic. He came here. He opened a brothel in the Yukon. That's what he did. And he made money doing that. Whores and food. And they said for brothel food, it was awesome. No corn dogs is what I gather. Then he made at that time, it was like 500 grand. Decided to go back to Germany. That's what a good American his grandfather was. Tried to fucking leave. When he got to Germany, you know what they told him? Fuck you. You bailed on the military, pussy. And then he came back. Then he gave birth to Fred Trump, who was also another guy. And then Trump deferred 5 times. And if you're in our military and you actually believe that this guy has your back, who called you losers and suckers, this guy who doesn't even want one of your injured to be in a parade because, quote, I don't think people need to see that, then you're out of your fucking mind. He will throw you under the bus like he did Giuliani. He will throw you under the bus like he did Manafort. He will throw you under the bus like he did Musk. He will throw you under the bus. So do me a favor. Stick to your oath to our Constitution, because if you don't, you stop being an American. I'm Christopher Titus. I was like, I don't even know what happened. That was like.
So just so you guys know, the executive order that he signed on Saturday, even going against our governor's wishes, he actually intentionally made it apply to all 50 states. So Newsom said this yesterday. Don't think that this is a California problem.
Oh, we're a test case.
He has, Texas is next, I'm telling you. But he has done it so that it included all of the states. Mm-hmm. So just know that it's not just California, and to pay attention.
As citizens, do we have any, just throwing some ideas out there, do we have any
Don't come get us
that we can call on? Can we call on the Brits? Can we call on Australia?
Hey guys, can you help
the citizens of the United States?
They don't want anything to do with this.
Can you help us Americans fight some Americans?
Fight some MAGA Marines. There's going to be a split. Because first of all, he would need, how many false flags
That's a great movie.
would he need to implement to turn the tide to where there's an actual, like, a civil war in the streets, like a physical civil war?
But doesn't it feel like we're heading towards
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Well, don't you, when you talk to people, I mean, how polarized people have become? I don't remember a time. I mean, you guys know my sister and her husband are extremely connected and powerful inside of this administration and up for some, big appointments and stuff. And my sister is one of my very best friends. And you say to me, like, how can you do that? And I say, because I remember a time when we didn't give a shit. And yes, I understand that circumstances have changed and our democracy is at stake, but that's what he wants, is to divide us. Right. Or that's what Putin decided he wanted and then started implementing it through a very useful idiot. And so I don't remember asking my sister, what side did you vote for, before she put Band-Aids on my cuts or whatever. I didn't care. Even 10 years ago, we didn't talk about it. And so that's the trap. We should not be fighting each other. We should be trying to unify, even if we don't agree, because if we don't, this civil war is what we're headed for.
Well, that's why he would need to implement false flags to convince the military and the public that there's an actual...
Right, so it's going to take...
that's all that these shitty media outlets that aren't real, like Newsmax, are posting. Mm-hmm. It looks like my family thinks LA is burning down right now. If you look
at Fox News, she even said CNN. She showed me CNN. I'm like, that's not even happening.
Yeah,
what are they doing?
Yeah.
And then Ted Cruz is reposting shit from 5 years ago.
The George Floyd protest.
He's like, look how crazy it is. Yeah, that was...
Oh, he also, Trump did, this is the false flag bullshit. He's thanked the National Guard before they even got here. He said, you guys did such a great job at, de-escalating. Motherfucker, they weren't even here.
This deployment, $48 million, I think they said it was going to cost for them to be...
132.
Oh, 130. 48 was his little tank, his little birthday.
Yeah, his birthday party.
Party for himself. I like tanks.
Yeah. He doesn't even drive. Do you know he can't drive?
I know. Speaking of not driving, this episode brought to you by Hungry Root.
What?
I love Hungry Root because when it comes to grocery shopping, I don't like to do it. And I love that Hungry Root has solved this problem for me, but also they've solved it in helping me get healthy food to fill my pantry, fill my refrigerator. And a lot of it is several of the things that we made were like 3 minutes or less.
But
the
also,
street tacos I made, you were like, this might be the best meal I've ever had.
You know, but when they stuff showed up, we went through it like a Christmas stocking.
It
like
was.
we were like, oh, what is this? And yeah, that was awesome.
Because you get to go pick what you want in there. And so you're picking from, meals that you can make, except everything's separated and nearly prepared, and then you finish the cooking and put it all together, or salads. But also it's pantry items, so stuff that we had never tried, like snack really stuff, cool snack stuff, turkey jerky. Stuff I told you guys already, the Simple Mills honey grams. Those are the shit. They're gluten free.
You know how good they are? Good. She hides the box.
No, I didn't.
She fucking hid the box.
No,
I found it. You're lying.
You're hiding.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. What happened was the night that you saw the box, because I was eating them in bed, I ate all of them.
Oh, you hid them in your stomach. Oh, I see.
I didn't know you gutted it
to the bottom, and I was
like, "That's how good they were."
There must not have been very many in here.
I had like two, and then they were in the cabinet, and I noticed they were gone. There's something else that disappeared too.
I ate them
Same
all.
thing. There's another bag of something, some
just
dessert
by
thing.
themselves. I loved it. So if you're looking for anti-inflammatory, gut-friendly, gluten-free, dairy-free, high-protein, whatever, this is how you make it happen. They make it simple, stress-free. You give them your goals and your preferences, and then they fill your cart for you. And then you can change if you want. If you're like, oh, I want to try this other thing or whatever. Healthy groceries, you can get smoothies, kids snacks if you have a family, sweets, ready to eat meals, salad kits. You can even get supplements there. And they don't have any high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of their food. And their meat and seafood is all free of hormones and antibiotics.
This was my favorite thing when we first got our first shipment. My favorite thing was it was all stuff that you didn't have to worry about eating. That was like literally the major plus.
And it made me less snacky because you had things that were quick to grab.
Yeah, you can get food anywhere.
That were healthy instead of grabbing some crap shit.
But to have someone curate it for you where you're like, oh, I don't have to feel bad about eating it.
I promise you're going to love Hungry Root as much as we do.
How do we get it?
Take advantage of this offer for a limited time. Get 40% off of your first box. Plus, you can get a free item in the box for the life of your subscription. Just go to hungryroot.com/Titus. Use code Titus. That's hungryroot.com/Titus. Code Titus, and you'll get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Titus. Code Titus. I really love this company.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, we don't take an ad unless we love the company. We usually, here's how it works for us. Because I'm kind of I care about you guys too much, so I don't want to piss you guys. I don't want to just take a bunch of ads. Yeah. So Ray will go like, this company. I'm like, well, have them send us something. And they send us something. And this stuff from Hungry Root showed up. And I was like, and she was in the kitchen just going through it like, look at this. Hold on. It was so awesome. It was
really fun.
It was fun.
Georgia's Supreme Court has just ruled that the MAGA-aligned election board exceeded its authority last year for the 24 election. It's interesting that things are, starting to come out. They ruled on Tuesday that the state's election board exceeded its authority when it imposed new voting rules in the months leading up to the 24 election.
Okay, good.
If you remember, there were 7 rules that they came out with.
Right. Is this the Rockland thing? This
is Georgia.
Got it.
It went to court, and then obviously it's been appealed all the way up to the Georgia Supreme Court. It upholds in part a lower court decision against the board, curtails the board's ability to impose rules without supporting laws passed by the state assembly. So remember, they just came out with these rules right before,
like 2 months before.
But the thing is, now the election has happened.
Well, there's something happening in New York, guys. I think it's Rockland County. There is a whole bunch of weird stuff with voting that like one candidate got 0 votes. Right. But it's moving forward now. It's moving forward now. Can we get...
It's actually, do you guys remember, was it last week or the week before, when I looked it up and I
Yeah.
said there was one little article. So now it's hit Newsweek, the Economic Times, the Times of India.
Are you saying that we were ahead of everybody on the
Again.
news? Wow, that's crazy.
2024 election results are under scrutiny as lawsuit advances. So finally, it's all over.
So we're going to need to, as this continues on, let's keep an eye on this, and we'll figure out when we get ETA here.
Yeah.
We'll get ETA here again and talk about, because they found more stuff, right?
Yeah.
So guys,
It says that it could renew debate about it, but it won't change the outcome because Congress has already certified the results as Trump.
Wait. So if we prove
Mhm.
that, if they do hand counts and it was proved that the election was totally false and not right, that we can't fix it?
Yes.
That can't be. That's got to be.
Then we will riot at the White House.
Everybody riot.
Bitch fuck.
Suit riot.
Yeah, that was that Judge Rachel Tanguay. You called her Rachel Tanqueray.
I was close. I was as close as you just were.
Exactly.
Well, that also speaks to how the population of this country, the majority of people, did not want him in. Therefore, we have a better chance at keeping the country.
So here's
what
the
it was.
thing. You're right. So if this goes through, first of all, if this goes through and they prove that because they're getting, the court said we can move forward on the hand recount. If the hand recount in that district or that county goes through and it is shown that everything was off, that means they have to investigate the machine. Well, if they investigate the machine and it was shown that something was off, that sets precedent for everybody else.
Exactly.
And then what happens is you're going to see all hell break loose on the right. What I don't understand is, and I'm going to keep saying it, first of all, Republicans kill children. That's what's happening. Republicans and billionaires kill children in our country right now, and specifically Republican billionaires. They are cutting food aid. RFK just fired 17 people that their entire job was to make sure what vaccines are valid and what vaccines aren't. So now we don't have that. We don't have a board that looks at, okay, are these vaccines good or bad? Which means, so we now have, how the fuck did we get this crazy this fast?
He doesn't make sense to himself. He was all about vaccines aren't safe. Well, shouldn't we have a team to verify that if they're safe or not? But then he wants to fire.
Then he fired them.
But then he fires people
Yeah,
to look
now
and see if
they're
they're
not.
safe. Wait.
Now they're not safe.
Well, did you see the whole Fulbright board resigned? This is like kind of the problem,
Wow.
though. Everybody just gets out of the way. So the Fulbright program, that's the federal government's premier international educational exchange program. It's a big effing deal in the educational system. We don't really have one anymore, but
That Fulbright
in
scholar
academia.
was arrested, right? It's a big deal.
That Fulbright scholar was the one yanked off the street.
Who
The
wrote-
entire board that oversaw the Fulbright scholarship program under the State Department has resigned in protest of what they say is Trump's meddling in its affairs and politicizing it.
Okay, guys, we have to. Okay, all right, Democrats, gather up. Listen, we can't do. She's right. We can't do this. Listen. If someone hits you in the face with a bat, you just go. You fight back.
You don't resign and protest.
Yeah, you do.
You idiot.
You know that thing you hate us doing.
I'm resigning.
We're not doing it anymore.
Bye.
You know that thing that bothers you that we did. We're not doing it.
We're not here anymore.
It doesn't make any sense.
Wait, so now you can just put people in our place
Yeah,
that
take
do
that.
exactly what you
Yeah,
want.
take that.
So,
Yeah. So
We win.
If you want to
See
get rid of
you.
us, we quit. What? You asshole.
maybe these aren't the smartest people.
But here's a very harshly worded letter.
Which I do believe they did.
Start standing up. By the way, I'm not leaving.
Stand up.
You know, by the way, we have examples of this already. The guy who runs the Fed. Guy who runs the Fed. Guy who runs the Fed said flat out, "Fuck you, can't fire me."
Jerome?
There you go.
Jerome. Yeah. Jerry was like, "Nah, fuck you." And so guess what happened? It got quiet really quick. Stand up to bullies, because if you don't, bullies keep rolling. I love these people that are capitulating to Trump, these law firms that they're like, okay, we'll give you pro bono work for, and then you will do whatever you want. And then they think that's going to stop him. He's just going to keep pushing. We already fucking did that. Do some more. Do some more. No. Now see this guy right here? You need to represent him too. Well, you already said it. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to shut you down your government contract. Let him shut. Guys, here's the problem. If you let him do what he wants to do and fight against it, if you let him do what he wants to do and you leave, he's just going to put idiots in there and it's going to get worse. If you stand your ground, he's going to move on to the next idiot. That's what bullies do. Bullies never. Bullies don't.
Well, it's worked. The protesting has gotten people home.
Yep.
The 4-year-old little girl that was having cancer treatment, they brought her back.
Brought her back, yep.
The
kid,
Newsom
the
arrest.
volleyball kid came back.
The volleyball band kid.
Newsom with the arrest, a threat.
Gavin.
He said, come get me. And they went, oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then
well,
Holman's like,
I don't know. We'll see
that's
about
not what
that.
he meant.
We'll see about that. I will see. But they did. So our DOJ filed something about the military deployment here to fight it in the courts. And I guess the DOJ is kind of busy these days, not ours, but Trump's.
Yep.
Because they responded today, but it was extremely sloppy.
Everything they said is
left
sloppy.
the entire second page table of contents blank. The third page's table of authorities only has brackets with the word insert in the middle. That's where they
Person, woman, camera, TV.
That's where you
Person,
put
woman, man.
your
Insert
authority for doing what you're doing.
Wow.
Prior cases, precedent. So
we put insurrection. No, it says insert, moron. That's funny.
It's the same as him sending in the Marines and sending in the fucking commandeering the National Guard, and they're standing around just like not even knowing what to do. It's an absolute clusterfuck, and it's just a fake like strongman thing.
it's a very expensive clusterfuck.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to get us fired up. So don't. You want to make him look really dumb? You want to make him really dumb? Do not do anything.
Well, protest, but do it peacefully.
Yeah, protest.
This Saturday, the No Kings protest that happens on the same day that he's trying to look like a king for his sad little self-created birthday
Melania
party.
will like me. Maybe
my penis will be bigger.
I don't think
it will not get bigger.
Her to like him.
They were, here's the protest. They were doing the electric slide. There was a bunch of people. There was like 40 people did the electric slide. Mm-hmm. They were white people, so it was not even a good electric slide. It wasn't. Yeah.
Simultaneously, right now we have had, he has a pending appeal trying to get rid of that hush money conviction.
Is that the 34 convictions?
They had a hearing this morning. The issue at the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit was not whether his state conviction will be overturned, but where, because he's trying to push it into federal court for obvious reasons.
Can he do that?
It's left for a 3-judge panel to decide. Supreme Court is going to get the last word. So that last word could be Trump deserves a new trial based on its immunity ruling that they put out last summer.
Has now. It's so weird, man. We got. This was you know what he did? What Putin did? He played the long con. If you look at it, and what the ETA said when we were talking about the 2020 election, they were already the numbers in 2020. Remember, they're weird, but they didn't do it enough. Because the pandemic, people were like, we got to get this guy out.
Yeah, it was overwhelming.
So people showed up, and then mail in ballot because of the thing. We are on a bad road, and I don't know what to do except I'm going to go do comedy. I'm going to do my new show, Doomed to Repeat. Where am I going to be? I'm going to be at Kansas City.
You're going to be in St. Louis Thursday night, almost sold out.
Yep.
Hopefully it's not yet if you haven't gotten your tickets. And Dane, you're going to be in Kansas City, 2 shows, very close to selling out too.
We're going to
And then Saturday, you're going to be in Des Moines at the Funny Bone. Kansas City is actually now a Funny Bone, it's the same company.
Yeah.
But no, it's Kansas City Funny Bone, Des Moines Funny Bone. Right. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, get your tickets now if you still can. Killer show. Also, I just moved my filming date to accommodate my cohort here to October 25th. One Saturday later, 2 shows, 6:30, 8:45. Tickets are on sale now at the El Portal Theater. Highlander's going to throw that link up on my website and Titus's website. But come see Beauty for Ashes. And my whole entire family is flying in for it. So you'll get to see, well, no, not those people.
Yeah. If you saw Carrying Monsters, you know how we do it, how we do. So we're going to raise the ideas she has are so good for this show. So the comedy's the comedy. but then what we add on top of it on our production. So please come to the El Portal Theater on October 25th to see the lovely Bombshell
Same
Ray.
place I filmed my first special, Alpha Chick, which that it's available everywhere to watch, but also that album is out now. iTunes and everywhere else. You can go and play it all day in the background on mute.
Guys, do me a favor. Go to, before we get to this part, go to Instagram and follow me, Titus Nation, and also on Threads. Let's chop it up because, by the way, I think when this shit goes down, we're going to need these platforms to actually communicate.
Yep.
And now, 2 years ago today.
Better days.
Can I tell you guys this really fast
Yeah.
while he's looking that up?
I got it.
A letter was it got leaked from Kristi Noem, DHS biatch, to Pete Hegseth, pressing him to have the military arrest citizens that are protesting, detain and arrest the military.
So they're trying. So he's
It
trying.
got leaked. Somebody let it out.
So guys, good. Do me a favor. If you guys are in this administration, still be patriots. Do what you got to do. We need some undercover bitches. Do it.
Anyway, better
Undercover
days.
bitches. That's a shirt. I'm an although you're not an undercover if you're wearing
one
a shirt.
Of the undercover
I'm
bitches.
an undercover bitch.
Yeah. Hey, there he is.
The White House, 2 years ago today, better days, the White House under Biden announced a Juneteenth concert. Could you imagine
No.
Donald, exactly, Trump hosting a Juneteenth concert?
No, they
he doesn't
got
even
rid
know
of it.
what. Yeah,
So he went out of his way to make sure that we were like in America where all men are created equal. Biden went out of his way to make sure that everybody got their spot, everybody got their shot, and everybody was recognized.
yes. In 2021, President Biden signed bipartisan legislation establishing Juneteenth as the nation's newest federal holiday, so that all Americans can feel the power of this day, learn from our history. Remember that.
Go to the cookout.
Celebrate our progress. Remember that. And recognize and engage in the work that it continues.
Better days. Better days. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got to go. Do me a favor. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. My special Carrion Monsters is out. It's an hour and 40 minutes of stuff. And then on the road, I'm doing all new material.
Yes, he is.
And you got to see this girl when we're on tour together because she is killing it. And this new show
Have fun in Phoenix.
is amazing. Thanks again to Phoenix Stand Up Live
they were
and
awesome.
for the Desert Ridge Improv. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. By the way, Scream Sanity.
Yeah.
More now than ever. Later.
Peace out.
There can be only one!
Wow. Okay.
That was me screaming Sanity.